The hidden cave of wisdom. Far away, nestled in a remote mountain range, a lone hiker named Ethan was on a journey of discovery. He had been traveling for weeks, scaling steep cliffs and wandering through endless forests, searching for something he couldn't quite put into words. Ethan loved the serenity that the mountains brought him, the feeling of being completely isolated from the busy world below. But today, his peace was disrupted by the sudden rumble of thunder in the distance. Looking up at the sky, Ethan saw dark clouds rapidly rolling in, covering the once bright afternoon sun. He quickened his pace, hoping to find shelter before the storm hit. The wind picked up, howling through the trees and sending leaves swirling around him. Soon, the first droplets of rain began to fall, and within moments, the sky opened up, unleashing a torrential downpour. Ethan's clothes were soaked through, and the cold rain chilled him to the bone. He needed to find shelter, and fast. As he scanned the mountainside, he noticed what appeared to be the entrance to a cave, hidden behind a cluster of tall pines. Without hesitation, he made his way toward it, grateful for the chance to escape the storm. As he stepped inside, the cave's entrance was narrow, but it opened into a surprisingly spacious chamber. The sound of the rain pounding against the rocks outside faded, and inside, it was dry and warm, a safe haven from the wild storm. Ethan sat down on a smooth, flat rock and exhaled deeply. He was exhausted from his hike, and the rhythmic sound of the rain outside made him feel sleepy. As he leaned back against the cave wall, he closed his eyes, planning to rest for just a moment. But soon, he drifted into a deep sleep. In his dream, Ethan found himself standing in a strange, ethereal landscape. The ground beneath him was soft and glowed faintly, and the sky above was filled with swirling colors, purples, blues, and golds, all blending together in a beautiful cosmic dance. There were no trees, no mountains, just a vast, open space that seemed to stretch on forever. As he looked around in awe, Ethan noticed a figure approaching from the distance. It was a man, but there was something otherworldly about him. He had long, silver hair that flowed down to his waist, and his robe shimmered as though made of starlight. His eyes were kind, yet ancient, filled with the wisdom of countless ages. "Who are you?" Ethan asked, feeling both curious and strangely calm in the presence of this mysterious figure. The man smiled softly. "I am a guide, a keeper of truths long forgotten. You have sought answers, and now, you stand at the threshold of understanding." Ethan furrowed his brow. "What do you mean? What truths?" The man gestured to the sky, where the stars and galaxies twirled and shimmered. "There are stories, Ethan, hidden in the very fabric of the universe. Stories that reveal the nature of all things, the reason for existence, the purpose of life, the connection between all beings. I can show you, if you are willing to listen." Ethan nodded, his heart pounding with anticipation. "I'm ready." The wise man raised his hand, and the sky above them shifted. Stars rearranged themselves, forming intricate patterns and symbols, as if they were telling a story of their own. Long ago, before time began as you know it, there was only the void, a place of silence and potential. From this void, the first spark of creation emerged, and with it, the universe was born. But this universe was not built on random chance. It was shaped by a force, a consciousness older than time itself. The man paused, letting his words sink in. Ethan listened intently, captivated by the vastness of what he was hearing. "A consciousness, like a god?" he asked, his voice barely more than a whisper. "Not quite," the wise man replied, shaking his head. "It is not a god in the way most understand it. It is the source, the essence of all things. This consciousness is both the creator and the creation. Every star, every planet, every living being is a part of it, and it is a part of them." As the man spoke, Ethan saw the stars above shift again, this time forming a vast web of light, each strand connected to another. "This is the great tapestry of existence," the wise man continued. "Everything is connected, Ethan. Every thought, every action, every moment ripples through the universe, touching all things. And though many have forgotten, every soul carries a fragment of the source within them. Ethan stared at the glowing web, mesmerized. So, we're all connected to the universe? To each other? Exactly, the man said with a nod. But humanity has drifted from this knowledge. Over time, as societies grew and civilizations expanded, the connection to the source was overshadowed by the distractions of the material world. Greed, fear, and desire clouded the minds of many, and in their pursuit of power, they lost sight of the truth, that they are never alone, and that their every action matters in the grand design. Ethan thought of his life back in the world he had left behind, the people he had met, the choices he had made. So, what we do, it really does have an impact. The wise man's eyes gleamed. Yes. Every act of kindness, every moment of love, every decision born from compassion strengthens the fabric of the universe. And every act of cruelty, every choice made from fear or hatred, weakens it. This is the balance that the universe strives for, the balance between light and darkness, creation and destruction. Both are necessary, but harmony is the goal. Ethan's mind swirled with thoughts. He had always wondered if there was something more, something beyond the tangible world. And now, standing in this dreamlike realm, hearing the words of this wise man, it all began to make sense. But why do we forget, he asked, feeling a deep sadness. Why do we lose sight of the connection? The wise man's expression softened. Forgetting is part of the journey, Ethan. In forgetting, you are given the chance to remember. Each soul must find its own way back to the source, through its own experiences, choices, and challenges. It is in the struggle, in the moments of doubt and despair, that the deepest truths are often found. Ethan nodded slowly, understanding the weight of what he was being told. So, what can I do? How do I remember? The wise man extended his hand, and a single star descended from the sky, floating gently in his palm. By living with intention, he said, holding the star out to Ethan. By choosing love over fear, kindness over cruelty, and compassion over judgment. In doing so, you not only strengthen your connection to the universe, but you also help others to remember theirs. Ethan hesitated for a moment before reaching out to take the glowing star from the man's hand. As his fingers closed around it, warmth radiated through his body, filling him with a sense of peace and understanding. The star pulsed with a soft, rhythmic glow, and Ethan realized it was alive, a symbol of the connection the man had spoken of. When you return to your world, the wise man continued, carry this light with you. Let it guide your actions and remind you of the truth you've learned here. Though you may face challenges and hardships, remember that the universe is always with you, and that you are never truly alone. Ethan nodded, holding the star close to his chest. I will. Thank you, he said, his voice filled with gratitude. The wise man smiled, his figure beginning to fade into the glowing landscape around them. This is not goodbye, Ethan. I am always here, as are the truths of the universe. You need only look within to find them again. With that, the man disappeared, leaving Ethan standing alone in the vast, cosmic landscape. But he didn't feel alone. The connection he had felt, the understanding he had gained, lingered in his heart, filling him with a sense of purpose. Suddenly, the dream began to shift. The colors around him swirled faster, and the ground beneath his feet began to dissolve. Ethan felt himself falling, tumbling through the sky, the star still clutched in his hand. With a jolt, he awoke. He was back in the cave, the sound of rain still pattering against the rocks outside. The storm had lessened, and the soft light of dawn was beginning to filter through the entrance. Ethan sat up, feeling the cold stone beneath him and the warmth of the dream still lingering in his chest. He touched his heart, half expecting to find the star there, but of course, it was gone. And yet, something inside him had changed. He felt lighter, more connected to the world around him, as if the dream had unlocked a hidden truth within him. Ethan stood, taking a deep breath of the cool, fresh air. The storm had passed, but its memory remained, just like the dream. With newfound purpose, he gathered his belongings and stepped out of the cave, ready to continue his journey. But this time, he wasn't just searching for a path through the mountains. He was searching for a way to live in harmony with the universe, to remember the connection he had seen in his dream, and to carry that light with him wherever he went. And as he walked, the world around him seemed brighter, more alive, as if the very mountains and trees were speaking to him in a language only his heart could understand.